Okay. I'm just going to have to do deep filter, I guess. Because it doesn't seem like it wants to load noise torch. Which should be okay. One of the reasons I was using... Okay. So sorry. If it's not one technical issue, it's another issue, and I just happened to miss it. Sound was working before I hit the go live button. I don't know what broke in between those periods of time. I really don't. Because I did actually audio test everything, and I made sure everything was wired up properly. I don't know what caused everything to break there, as far as my audio goes, and why all of a sudden noise torch is like, no, I don't want people to be able to hear you. I do still have a deep filter on. Typically I run it through 2 deep filters, but one of the reasons I was running through 2 deep filters, going from deep, or taking my microphone and running it through deep filter and then running deep through filter through noise torch, was because I was in an open area before. But not this past weekend, but the weekend before. We took advantage of the fact that we took long weekends for our daughter's birthday, and my husband and I moved all of our gaming stuff out of our den into what used to be a guest bedroom. It's no longer a guest bedroom now. So I'm no longer in an open area like I was before, so I shouldn't need the extra layer of filtering happening like I was before. At least that's the hope. Hopefully I don't sound like complete and total crap, but at least I could be heard now. Better than having absolute silence like I was there. Okay. So I'm going to do a very too long didn't read version of what I've been talking about in the last 15 minutes. I started with apologizing for the really super long commercial break that happened at the beginning of stream. I'm also going to blame that on myself. I probably did something wrong. I ran an ad, or ran a 3-minute ad break to try to get the pre-rolls off, and then Twitch automatically ran another 2.5-minute ad after that. Did not intend for that to happen. I do really apologize for that extra long ad break at right at the start of stream. Then after that, I was catching everybody up for where we are at. We are dealing with this douche. I don't like this guy. And his outfit's hideous enough as it is. It's because he's telling us about Tidus, and we don't care about Tidus. We want to know more about Titan. And now he's pouting and shit at us because we don't care about his stories about Tidus. And he sent us to go deal with those stupid wharf rats that I just killed silently, apparently. During that time, I noted that I did the level 35 White Mage quest. And I highly recommend, especially if you're at this point of MSQ, if you've not been keeping up with your job quest and your role quest, you should be doing that. I want to see what my frame rates are. Okay, my frame rates are not great because of how I had to reboot stuff there. But not horrible. And the reason I do that, or recommend that, is because those quests unlock abilities. Not all of them do, but quite a few of them do. Like that level 35 one unlocked regen for me, which is going to be really helpful for any instances that happen level 35 and up. Because that's going to grant healing over time, and means that you're not going to have to stop mid-cast to heal somebody quite as often. Really, really helpful as a healer to have. And that is locked behind the level 35 quest. So if you don't do the level 35 quest as a white mage, you're not going to have regen, which is a pretty essential part of your kit. I didn't do it before running Hockey Manor because Hockey Manor's level 28, and I wouldn't have had that ability anyway because I would have been level synced down to 30 or 31. Synced to 31. So I would have had access to regen anyway, since it's a level 35 ability. But I want to make sure for the next instance, just in case I'm going to be synced to level 35 or higher, I want to make sure I have it. And this is not just important for our Realm Reborn jobs. This is important for all jobs because, for instance, last expansion, Sage has quite a few powerful heals that are locked behind its job quests. And I had a friend that wanted to do some extreme trials as a Sage, which it was all with friends and it was all as a joke and everything like that. But they didn't go do their job quest, so they didn't have like Panheima for some of those big raid wides. And that put a lot of extra stress on their co-healer, who was playing Astrologian on controller. As I said, it was with friends. It was all good fun. But if that had been something where it was like queuing up with randoms in Duty Finder or even hopping in the Party Finder with people without having that expectation set of people don't have things unlocked and things like that, like it's going to put an extra burden not just on you, but it puts the extra burden on your party. And that's something that you have to keep in mind, is that this is not a solo game. Yes, you do want to enjoy the game, but not at the detriment of other people's enjoyment of the game as well. So like, unless it's agreed upon ahead of time, it's courteous to make sure you have those things unlocked so that you can equally pull your weight. Don't put the burden on your other healer or your other tank or your other DPS. Like make sure that you are doing those things. That was a big rant that I did, apparently in silence, during the first 15 minutes of stream, though. Anyhow, I will say, before I actually pick up this next thing from this dude who just... He appears to be ignoring me. Well, I want to freaking ignore him, too. I don't care about this guy. One reason I think a lot of people miss or forget about the job and role quests and stuff is because, like, it doesn't really lead you back into doing it very well. And especially with your Realm Reborn jobs, it could actually be a pain in the butt to go do them. For instance, like with mine, I had to go back to the Black Shroud, and I had to go back down here to Camp Tranquil. Not trying to teleport. I had to go back down here. Then I had to go all the way somewhere over here to deal with, or somewhere in Sorrel Haven to deal with a tree. Then go back down to Camp Tranquil. Then I had to come back to Lenosha. I, like, notice my little indicator here. I don't have any Aetherites near me. I had to teleport to Summerford Farms and run all the way down that map and over. It was a lot of travel, which gets really boring. And I feel like that's where people start skipping it a little bit, to the point that they eventually forget about it. So it's best to just keep an eye on your, so mine's like at the bottom of my screen here, it says Hungry Hungry Go Booze. And above it says next main scenario quest. Underneath of it, there's like there will be a smaller subtext that will have other important quests that you should be doing. So for instance, if I had another job quest to do, it would have that right there for me to click on. Okay. Anyhow, back to all of this stuff. So we have this dude, he's ignoring me. He is ignoring me. I don't care that he's ignoring me. He can ignore me all he wants to. Like, that's perfectly fine. It's like, okay, so this guy's like, what? You're still asking how we beat Tidus? No, I'm asking you how you guys beat Titan. Titan. Like Tan, not DUS. Tan. I don't know, Adventurer. It was a pretty risky strategy, and kind of only a veteran of 10 score battles could rely upon. Yes, because that cheetah print definitely screams that you did that. Like, it looks too clean. It looks too clean. You're supposed to be a farmhand, too. But whatever. I want to teach you. I truly do. But unless you prove that you have what it takes to face that fat bastard, I can't in good conscience tell you a damn thing. At the very least, you need to be capable of slaying, say, a gobu. Come to think of it, that ain't a bad idea. Them creatures have a taste for flour milled here, so you ought to have no trouble finding one in the vicinity. Of course, I ain't asking you to cut one down quick as a skilled axeman like myself. Any road, why don't you be headed due west and stand on the lookout in case a gobu comes calling. Slay it, and I might consider telling you more about old Tidus. Ishtola. Why are you having me deal with this dumbass? The Company of Heroes is the most celebrated mercenary band in the history of Eorza. Even so, I must admit I've never before met one of their members face to face. I imagined a warrior who had toppled both Titan and Leviathan would seek to bask in a lifetime of fame and glory, yet he seems to have settled in a place distinctly bereft of adoring crowds. I mean, I don't like this guy. I think that's another reason why I don't like A Realm Reborn as much as some of the other expansions, because I feel like there's so many NPCs like that I'm just like, as much as I dislike some of the NPCs that come up in later expansions, it's not quite they just annoy me. Like, this guy really freaking annoys me. Like, I feel like there's so many NPCs in A Realm Reborn that I'm just like, ugh. Okay, let's deal with this dude. He's probably gonna sneeze on me at some point. That's the whole point of these dudes with all their teeth, is for them to sneeze. But instead, he's just gonna keep slamming me with these giant-sized arms. Come on, dude, sneeze on me. Sneeze. You know you want to. No? No, he didn't even sneeze on me. Alright. Fetch 2 done. I'm not even going to accept the accommodation of the stool that he has here. You again? Did that gobu that was harassing the Millers is dead? Didn't think you had it in you, adventurer. Still, you took forever and a day to get the job done. Dude, I'm working with a stick. And I'm sure it took me less time than it would take you to do it with your axe. But whatever. I'm still not sure I should tell you our secrets. Whatever, dude. Whatever. My gear's going to be a little messed up here because, like, my experience bar that's, like, up towards the top of the screen by, like, where it says my home world, there's my experience bar. I don't have a moon next to it, so I'm not in a sanctuary at the moment. You could typically tell if you're in a sanctuary either by looking at that and seeing the moon there, or if you have an aetheryte near you. Because most sanctuaries have an aetheryte, if not all of them. And because I'm not at an aetheryte, I can't apply glamour prisms or glamours, any of that stuff. So I have to temporarily not have my bunny ears. I don't like it, but whatever. All right. So this guy's still not convinced. Still insists on calling him Tidus, you know. So, as I was saying, I still don't know if you got what it takes to face Tidus. Maybe if you slew a... He also has a chocobo tattoo on his freaking cheek. How dare you have a chocobo tattoo on your cheek, sir? You ruined the good name of chocobos. This guy's so annoying. Totem, you in here drinking again? If you are, that Gobu had better be dead. Oh, it's dead, Chief. You have my word on that. Cleave the beast's skull in two with me trusty axe, I did. And here's why. Here's why I don't like this guy. He just lies. He lies so much. I know way too many people that like impulsively lie, and for no good reason either. And like, yes, this dude, he probably lied because he doesn't want to get in trouble with that other guy. Even though it's like, dude, I'm standing right here, and I'm obviously going to say, no, you didn't. I killed it. Like, why are you taking credit for my work here? Like, I don't understand why you did that. But like, to give an example, like I have a cousin that when we were younger lied to people saying that he had a trampoline and a pool, and he claimed that he had I want to say he had a PlayStation 4. This was also back when like the PlayStation 2 had just came out, by the way. And he was like, I have a PlayStation 4. And I'm like, you want these people to be your friends, and you're telling them that you have all these things. What do you think's going to happen if you invite them over to your house and they come over and see you don't have those things? And doesn't like when people call him out on lies, and it bothers me when people be like that, you know? And it's like, we got too many people, especially in seats of power, that are like that. They just impulsively lie. And then when they get called out on their lies, get impulsively defensive about it. And for no good reason. It's like, just don't, why lie about it? Like a gentle lie to like spare someone's feelings or something like that. That's one thing. But like this, I said, some of the lies just don't make sense. I love that. I didn't even speak up here, though. And this guy's just like, is that a fact? And what will your friends say here if I ask her? She'll vouch for me, of course. Ain't that right, friend? Dude, you wanted to ignore me. You wanted to ignore me. You didn't want to tell me about this so-called Tidus or whatever. Even though I wanted to know about Titan. And now I'm suddenly your friend? Tell me true. Was it Traktom who slew that Gobu, or was it you? I'm not lying for this. Chief, what are you saying? It was me, Traktom, the finest axeman to ever serve the company of heroes, the legendary mercenaries who slew that bastard Tidus. I like this gentleman in the white here. Tidus? Tidus? Who in the seven hells is Tidus? Some primal you fought in a drunk, sodden dream? The company of heroes slew Titan, you bloody halfwit! Well, see, Tidus is what me and the lads used to call him. I mean, I will give him credit. At least he improv'd that lie pretty decently, but, you know, whatever. That's the biggest load of Sahagin shite I've ever heard. Both you, outside, we'll learn the truth the Limson way. Tracked home. If you didn't slay that Gobu, you may consider your contract revoked. And the thing is I'm like, that guy probably would have been, he probably would have much more chill about things if that guy wasn't just hell-bent on freaking lying. And now I'm like getting drug into shit. All because that guy was just so set on his freaking lie. Alright, you know the rules. First one to smash their boulder will be judged as the Gobu Slayer. And don't even think about trying to kill me. That's cheating. Who picked these boulders? They're nothing alike. Ah, hell's with it. Let the contest begin. Like, seriously? And I like I'm over here, like, fighting rock with rock, just casting stone. Excuse me, sir. How you doing, lass? Feeling a bit stiff by any chance? No, I have a Suna. Heh, only killing's against the rules. You're still at it? Bugger me. Tis lucky I've got one of these. Yeah, nothing said I could get rid of his bomb. Me arms, me bleeding arms! Dude, you aren't even swinging your axe anymore. Yes! Hey, Lethal, it's Boba Wednesday! We have Boba live. Lala live with some Boba. I am good, Lethal. How are you doing? Good, glad to hear that. Surviving the week. Everybody's surviving the week. We are at least in my time zone, we are officially to that halfway point. Alright, this track totem just showed him up because he's like over here like, oh yeah, beat Tidus, woo. And his boss over here is like, who the fuck is Tidus? The company of heroes slew Titan. I don't know who the fuck Tidus is. And he's like, that's just yes, I hate this fraud too. Like, I do not like this guy whatsoever. And now he's finally admitting, like, it took a freaking show of me smashing a boulder and him bitching about how much his arms hurt, about his tiny little rock that's smaller than Boba here is. And a rock that was, like, I smashed a boulder that was way bigger than Boba, and he was bitching about his arms hurting about smashing a rock that's smaller than Boba. Like, yes, he's a bum, living off other people's fame, trying to leech off of other people who, like, happen to come by and are interested in learning more about Titan and everything. But it's like, but yeah, he has the audacity here to finally, after being shown up, and he's just like, okay, fine, I lied. Well, yeah, we already established that you lied. But I'm begging you, please don't dismiss me. I've learned me lesson. Honest, I have. Dude, you would have just fessed up before that competition, considering he said, we're having this competition, and if you lose, I'm firing you. Like, save your blubbering, Tractome. Gosh, I should have known. Mercy, please, I didn't want to deceive you, I swear. It's just I kept getting turned away by all the folks that asked for work, and I panicked. See, the last job I have... Yes, he's sorry he's caught. See, the last job I had was at Casa del Sol, and there was this grizzled marauder everyone treated like royalty. When I heard he was a captain in the company of heroes, I finally understood why. I wasn't being serious when I said I was one of them, but you wouldn't believe me, so I look, his name is Waistcoat. All right, Weisket. He'll tell you how to defeat Tidus or whatever the hell the thing's name is. That's what you wanted, ain't it? So come on, then tell Chief to forgive me. It's only fair. How is that fair? You had me running your frickin' errands for you. I wouldn't call that fair. I also got drugged into this stupid competition because I did one of your errands for you, and you went fess up to the fact that you made me do one of your frickin' errands. Like, it, and the game doesn't care about my opinion, apparently. It really is. It really is. Like, because now I'm going to go up here to Costa del Sol and I have to run everybody's errands up here, too. It's like, fine. I guess this is just errands for everybody. Like, this is one of those times where I really wish that I had, like, the maid costume or something, because then I'd just throw on the maid costume and be like, there you go. Or a butler costume. Like, apparently just, you're all servants. Just go do whatever y'all ask of me to do. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that button. I know I don't know how to size yet. Okay. I'm going to attune to this before I do anything else. Whoop, 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 whoop. I hit the wrong button. I don't need a second instance of the game running. I need... There we go. It really is. Like, you start off this game as just being everybody's freaking Ubers. Like kind of like Uber Eats or DoorDash or any of that stuff. And they're sending you to pick up all the shit at the store for them. Like, oh, hey, why don't you go to the store and pick me up a bottle of wine? And go fetch me some orange juice, peasant. Then I'll tell you in my basic outfit that's dyed a horrendous color how to glamour and dye your outfits if you just go fetch me my orange juice. And it's like, don't even give me a tip? Yeah, that is a really awesome part of the game. It's like you basically start off as glorified servant and then you progress quite a bit. Alright, so we got Weisget here. And he's like, wait, pardon? You wish to slay the Lord of Crags? We must slay him, Captain. The people of Linson and Mensa are depending on us. You fancy yourselves heroes then, just like in the tales. Be not so quick to judge, long as I have labored for the well-being of you and yours, and my associate here has bathed in a Fritz hellfire and lived. She is blessed with the power that protects her from primal influence, thus she was able to lay low the Lord of the Inferno. We know full well the risks and have taken every possible precaution. We lack only knowledge of how to enter Titan's lair. Pray be so good as to grant us the boon of your wisdom, and we shall be on our way. A woman who can't be tempered. Useful, but it won't be enough. Well, we know it won't be enough. That's why we're talking to you. That's why we're making all these other we've made all the other preparations. It's true that the company of heroes fought and felled primals, but each victory was fought with the lifeblood of men and of brave men and women. And Titan was the worst we faced. We defeated him in the end, but he took from us some of our very best, not very best, very best. My daughter's been into a lot of berries lately. fortunately, she got over her strawberry allergy because strawberries happen to be her favorite now. And so I can't help but make berry puns all the time with her. Even if you possess the power you claim, I have no reason to believe you'll succeed. Believe what you will. We mean to try. Though our lives be forfeit, we will not abandon Limsa to the wrath of Titan. You are passionate, I'll grant you that, and you deserve better than the greeting I gave you, but I will not send you to Ogomaro on a whim. To be plain, I do not wish to see you give your lives in vain. At the very least, I must have assurances that you are more than common adventurers. I oversee security for Master Gaguruju's estates. Perhaps you can demonstrate your abilities by attending to one of our... Gods, man, have you heard nothing of what I said? We have not the time to perform trivial tasks. The enemy is at the gates. I love you, Stola. She's like, dude, we don't have time to be your bitch right now. Do you imagine words can sway me, girl? If you dislike my conditions, then you are welcome to find your own way into Ogoromaro. She's just like... I mean, so far, she has done way more than Ida and Papalimo did when it came to the sylphs. Way more. I mean, she's gotten shitty with people. She just told this guy off, basically. Like, she's already done more. Like, she is not having it with people's shit. And I really appreciate that. Like, I love her so much. Like, just looking at the Maelstrom and being like, so you guys are the ones who fucked up. Because you guys had to deal with the kobolds. You broke it. And now you're pissed off that they brought Titan into the picture. And you're begging us for help. Like as though they're the ones who did something wrong. Like they didn't do anything wrong. You broke the pact. Like we'll do this, but you broke the pact. And she said this to the Admiral too. And they're just like, excuse me? Admiral's like, no, she's right. We are the ones who fucked up. Like, yes, like the Maelstrom lieutenant or whatever rank she was just like, oh, you need to watch your tongue. Da, 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 da. And Admiral's like, no, she has the right of it. Like, we're the ones who we messed up. Like, and we are asking them for help. But yeah, we need to be honest in the fact that we're the ones who messed up. It wasn't the kobolds that messed up. We messed up. We brought this upon ourselves. But yeah, we got to deal with this. And this dude, her being like we don't have time for you to send us on freaking errands, dude. And he's like, I'm not budging on it. So I'm like, I don't like this guy either, but at the very least, he's not a poser like the other one was. Like, so he ends up not being a complete waste of time, but he still wastes our time, which pisses me off. And your Stola's also like pissed off. So it's like just in the fact that she stands up for us and is pissed off with us, like misery loves company sort of deal happening right here. Like, I'm like, your Stola's already done so much more than the others have. It's like, though it pains me to admit it, I fear we have no choice but to acquiesce to this man's demands. Yep, there much remains to be done if we are to best Titan. Forgive me, but I must ask you to undertake this task alone. I will use this time to see the remaining preparations. Yes, I agree. The NPCs, they're rude. They're rude pirates, basically. There's pirates. Leaving the work to others, are we? Heh, very well. Dude. You want to give her shit for leaving dirty work to others? Dude. Do you really want to fucking go there? You want to fucking go there, dude. You're the one who's delegating the dirty work. So aren't you the one leaving the dirty work to others? And as you said, me having the echo doesn't necessarily mean that I will be successful. There are other things to do. So she is making sure those other things are due. Like, pray do whatever the good captain bids, however trifling. Remember, the fate of Lynn's little Mensa hangs in the balance. Yeah, this dude, I really... Yes, like Y'shtola's got my back, and it's like I've got her back. And if he didn't have those guards on, I don't know if those kneecaps would still be there. I'm at eye level with them. Feel like I could take them. Okay, he wants to verify that I'm not a complete fraud. Yes, I could. I would love to shoe his ankles, except he also has mail on those ankles. Like, that would hurt. That'd probably destroy my teeth. Ugh. Just thinking about it makes my teeth hurt. Like, ugh, that hurt. Master Giguru's requests can be more demanding than you realize. Before I set you on your true task, I would like to verify that this won't be a waste of my time. Anyx has recently been seen prowling on the beach to the east. As you can imagine, my master does not want large slimy creatures anywhere near his lands. The beast is cunning, but you should have no difficulty luring it out with hearing. Slay the Nyx and return to me. Oh, and don't forget to bring me a leg as proof of the kill. Sure, why don't I just do everybody's freaking chores for them? Like, seriously? So annoying. So annoying. I mean, at least I'm fighting more than a rock right now, but still, like, had to deal with those rats that the one guy was supposed to deal with, had to deal with a Gobu that the one guy was supposed to deal with. Now I'm dealing with the Nyx that this guy is supposed to deal with. Yeah, this is the part of A Realm Reborn where it's just like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, when you pay attention to MSQ for this part, I'm like, I feel like I'm being punished for paying attention to the story. Alright, dude. Yeah, I dealt with them. Whatever. Here's the friggin' legs. Lest you think me overly cautious for testing you in this way, you should know that we had an incident long ago. A foolish young employee was dismissed for lying about his past. He claimed to have served in the company of heroes, but I knew for a fact that he did not. Anyway, now that pointless busy work is finished, I shall give you a challenge that befits your talents. Right? I agree. Like, I do think that it's absolutely crazy that it's like, it used to be so much longer, because I remember this used to be way more annoying because you had to do so many more freaking side tasks. Like the one guy with Tidus there, I despise that guy. And that side quest that we just did, we had to do it just because of that guy. Like, he's like, this guy, he's like, okay, that was pointless busy work, But I had to make sure that like you weren't a complete waste of my time like that guy was. Okay. Same. Same. Like this was the section that I was like, I feel like this section's the one that really tested me. Like this section pissed me off so much back in 2019, I think, towards the end, because I got it. I got this game during the Black Friday sale that year. Yeah, the post ARR, especially with seeing that it was like you didn't really get experience for all of those post ARR quests. I was just like, oh my gosh, you're really going to force me through all this huge laundry list of quests and give me no experience for them? Like, are you kidding? It pissed me off. And then finally I got to the end of it, and then when all shit hit the fan in MSQ, I was like, oh, okay. I ended up sticking it out. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep my head down. And like I was really close to hanging it up. But then, as I said, when I hit that point of ARR post, like the very end of it, when all the shit hits the fan and everything, I was like, I got hooked at that point. And I was like, are all of my dreams coming true? and I was happy I stuck it out. Because Heaven's Ward was great. And then I got through Stormblood. Like I didn't love Stormblood, but I didn't like struggle with it like quite the level I did a Realm Reborn. And then Shadowbringers, chef's kiss. and I honestly, I'm really surprised I stuck it through, because it was like I didn't join a free company until I was at the end of Stormblood. Like that was the point that I finally joined a free company. Yes, I remember Old Prey with 8 people, and I got lost, and no one cared that I got lost. Like, I had no idea where the fuck anybody was at one point. Like, I didn't know how exactly that... Yes. Like, the elevator went without me. Like, there were so many parts that I missed because I didn't follow the crowd completely. Like, I got stuck behind. And I got stuck behind because of that part at the very beginning that one person gets sacrificed. And, well, I stayed behind not knowing that that was what was going to happen. And no one seemed to care. And so I couldn't find my way back to everybody. And I'm like, hello? Where did everybody go? And like I had no idea what was going on almost the entire time. And what made it even worse was when I got to that dungeon, I remember I was hosting a holiday event at my house, and I didn't realize it was going to take as long as what it did either. Like, I didn't know it was the movie dungeon. I thought it was as fast as all the other dungeons. And I was like, sorry guys, I just got into this dungeon. And I was DPS, so like the queue took forever. So I was like, I didn't really want to leave when I finally got through the queue. And I just got in, and then my family started showing up. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I just got into this dungeon. Should only take me maybe 10 minutes or so. Yeah, it was like an hour later. I come out and I'm like, I am so sorry. I felt horrible. Like, I love that it's faster now that they've broken it up and everything. But, oh my gosh, I felt so bad. Okay. So, twice get here. He's like, 2 highly distinguished individuals are scheduled to visit Costa del Sol in the near future, and Master Garaju wishes to welcome them with an elaborate banquet. But while money is no object, not everything Master Garaju desires can be so easily purchased. It is to be an extremely exotic feast, and so, Boba, your mission is to seek out and obtain the rare ingredients our chef requires. Naturally, such fine dining must be accompanied with a suitable wine. And by suitable, I mean the very best there is. Have fun, Lethal. That, however, can wait for the time being, as I believe you have enough on your plate as it is. It will be a long and arduous journey, but you need not toil alone. Many of the mercenaries who once served under my command still live, and they will guide you in your quest. For the first ingredient, I will have you travel to the Shroud to speak with Landel of Camp Tranquil. What? Do you mean to tell me you cannot afford to waste time as your associate did? Adventure. If you have not the endurance to complete this mission, how do you expect me to believe you can outlast the Lord of Crags? Either do it or don't. I have work to do. Yeah, I love that I made the sarcastic comment about having to freaking fetch wine, and here I am literally going to fucking fetch wine. Oh yeah, I'm not fetching wine yet. That's right. Okay, so... Do you require assistance, adventurer? So this is the one who would challenge Titan. I've been expecting you, Boba. The ingredients you seek is an egg of a giant adamantoise. The method of acquisition should be obvious. You steal it from the beast's nest, of course. Simple in theory, but difficult in execution. Most who try die in the attempt. Will I help you get it? Ha, you amuse me. I will not jeopardize my position by openly assisting you. From me, you will only receive information. What you do with it is your choice. At least he's going to give me a glamour prism. Okay, he needs to explain a few things to me. Alright. Alright. Let me be clear. This business between you, me, and the captain must remain a secret. See, I don't regret my time spent with the company in the slightest. Traveling the world, meeting interesting people, killing them, it was all jolly good fun. Alaskardanians are, by and large, an unforgiving lot. Ditto here being a rare exception. And she's just like, why you gotta bring me into this? Like, shrugs, like, ugh. I've had to go to great lengths to ensure that I am seen as a model citizen with no taste for drinking, whoring, gambling, and all those other activities I so dearly miss. So understand that if you ruin my little charade by wagging your tongue, I'll fashion a noose with your entrails and hang you from the nearest heavens pillar. Wow. Wow. Freaking rude. Well, what are you waiting for? There's a perfectly good adamantoise egg in a nest to the east of here, just ripe for taking. Not that I expect you to live long enough to claim it. Jeez. The mother never strays far from the child. Hey, David, how's it going? The mother never strays far from the child, and you will surely be attacked the moment you lay your hands upon the egg. I'm doing pretty good. We've officially made it through half of the week. We are officially at the halfway point, which is exciting. Yes, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. This dude is being mean to me. I mean, I still like this guy. I like this guy better than... Yes, it would be awesome if it was Friday, but at least it's Wednesday and not Monday. And at least I'm dealing with this guy. I'm past the guy with the cheetah print trousers that doesn't wear pants and instead wears cheetah print with denim overall things, and his lying and crap. I'm away from that guy. I'm away from him. And though this guy is not being all that nice, I prefer him over the other guys so far. Like, I don't want to be in Limsa or around Limsa right now because they're just annoying me. But this guy, he's just like, there will be other... Like, this guy's almost rooting against me. But it is what it is. There will be other heroes, Boba. You do not need to challenge Titan. Abandon your quest, or your corpse will rot in the swamp. I mean, at least this guy, like, he is trying to encourage me to... Or discourage me from continuing forward. This would have been a good time for me to pop over and do the White Mage quest, but I did go ahead and do that before. Apparently, I can't jump on that rock because they decided not to build that rock up. Since this was all rendered in 2D. Oh, hello, Animantoys. Hello. Hello. Like, I'm surprised this thing didn't just eat me in one bite. Because its mouth is bigger than I am. Like for measurement here. For measurement. Yeah, it didn't even need to chew me. Its egg is bigger than I am. It laid an egg bigger than me. I am supposed to be a grown-ass adult, technically. And its egg is bigger than me. So... why it didn't just decide to eat me... and instead just was just like, I'm gonna stomp around and stuff is beyond me. But, you know. I guess I'm just that much of a badass. I don't know. Okay, dude. Here you go. Here's your egg. I thought you might have the good sense to leave this place. By your continued presence, I take it you intend to persevere to the bitter end. Yeah, I got the egg. Here you go. Such bravery and such recklessness. That will serve you well against Titan. Leave the egg with me. I'll see that it gets to the captain. You should make haste to southern Thanaland. The Forgotten Springs, you'll find a man named Odinun. Or Udonun. Udonun. Uod. So I will get some of these names. Uod. Noon. So we've got a tribe leader. A Mikote tribe leader. More specifically, he is a Seeker of the Sun. He is he is the leader of the U tribe. Based upon his name, because the last name of Noon means that he is the leader. He is the mating male of the tribe. The form of his first name having a single letter in front of an apostrophe tells me that he's a Seeker of the Sun, and specifically that he is part of the U tribe. And then Ode, after that apostrophe there, that is his actual name. But to properly address him, you would say Udod, or Uod. Dito there also is a Mikote, but based upon her name, especially with how her name ends in OH, she is a Keeper of Moon. Keeper of Moon typically have a lot of H's in their name, and they don't have the single letter apostrophe. The other thing about the Keeper of Moons is they are a matriarchal society instead of a patriarchal society. They center around the females, whereas the Seeker of Moons are centered around the males. Uod here is going to be our next guide, and safe travels, Boba. Okay. Oh, I am not attuned there, so I gotta go to Little Alamigo first, then drive all the way down there. Which is fine. I've got Alpha for the ride. Like, it's fine. And for anybody who may have missed it in a tangent that I went on about in a past stream, one of the reasons I keep using this Garland bike, or really any of the bikes, several of the cash shop bikes, including this one, have an increased mount speed. And it just applies to ground speed. It does not apply to flight speeds. Flight speed, there's only the one flight speed. But ground speed, there are different levels of ground mount speed that you can purchase to upgrade them. Overall, not worth it, because you'll eventually unlock flying. I am going the wrong way. But especially when you can't fly, like right now, I can't fly, it's worth it for me to be on that bike to move a little bit faster. That also applies to several of the other bikes. Eventually, I will get to... Apparently, I don't have mounts hotkeyed. One of these days, I will remember that. But like the SDS Fenrir, also one that has the increased mount speed. And then the newest bike that they came out with, I can't remember what it's called. I didn't purchase it. It also has the increased ground speed. Flying is just so much better than being ground mounted, but with A Realm Reborn, you have to be level 50 and finish the MSQ before you unlock it. So like I'm stuck on the ground for a while, so it's kind of worth it since I already have these faster mounts. I may as well use them. If you don't have them, I mean, you don't necessarily need to spend the money for it. It's just a helpful little thing. Like if you're going to spend the money on a cash shop mount, and you're just starting the game, perhaps consider one of the bikes because they have the increased mount speed. And the reason I highly recommend, like I will say I highly recommend this one more than the SDS Fenrir, because this one is actually a 2-person mount. It doesn't look like it, but it is. I have Alpha in the what looks like the passenger seat. The passenger, yes, if you need to justify it to any significant others, you can totally blame me. I'm okay with that. I will take the blame. But with this particular mount that I have here, where Alpha is not where the passenger goes, Alpha always occupies that seat. So you get the added adorableness of having Alpha with you. But you could also have, if you have anybody in your party with you, they can hop onto this mount too. They just hang on to the spare tire, which, you know, makes it extra fun. Whereas the SDS Fenrir, yes, you get to feel like Cloud Strife on that mount. I do like that mount. Like it was the one that I got originally. I think they were running a deal on it for when the Final Fantasy VII remakes and stuff were coming out. It is a fun bike. And like, especially since I'm a Lala and tiny, it scales to my size, so I extra look like I'm going fast, which is extra fun. But I mean, I could have Alpha with me. I guess I could. Okay, I'll destroy this. Even though I know that Chocobo could probably use regen on themselves, I'm going to go ahead and give them a regen. And since that Chocobo's tanking it, I don't want to take it. I don't think that Black Mage wants to tank this. This boss is going down really slow. Go ahead and give him a little bit more regen. It'll be fun when I'm no longer a stone mage and become Glare Mage instead. Just because I do a little twirly twirl. Instead, I look rather boring just doing a swish and punch. I can't even be funny about it and be like, oh, I'm doing a swish and flick. No, they had to make it a little punch at the end. Probably didn't need to give that Chocobo any more regen, but figured may as well. Just to be extra safe and really make sure it doesn't die. Okay. That was just annoying and in the way. Now I can go in here and talk to this fella. Sir, I really hope you're not making your female Makotes dressed up like servants. Like, is that really how you're gonna play with your tribe members? Like, that's kind of perverse. State your business, adventurer. Snort, ha 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 ha. So this is the one that Weisgut sends me. I have the foggiest what he sees in you, and until I do, you will receive no aid from me. Dude, don't be a douche. Oh, to kind of go on that same tangent that I went on about this guy being the guy in charge. So this guy is also a part of the U tribe, based upon his first name having the U and the apostrophe. But you'll notice that his last name is Tia instead of Noon. The Noon indicates that this guy is the one in charge of the tribe, and he is also the mating male. This member is also a male of the tribe. He is not the leader, and he is the non-mating male, which is why he has the last name Tia instead. So that's why, like, a lot of male Mikos you'll see have the last name Tia, because they are not the leader of their tribe. There aren't very many Noons, because you don't have more than one leader. Thanks for the follow, Ronan. All right, so Udo Noon here, he's like, or Uod Noon, like, persistent bugger. I see what they did there. Persistent. They want to charm me with being punny. Very well, let's have a look at you. Like, I get why he doesn't take me seriously, because I mean he's not exactly a tall guy here, and even with my head set here, even with the bunny ears, even with that, I maybe come up to his waist. If you don't count the bunny ears, I don't even come up to his hips, and he's a pretty short guy. Like, Mikos are not tall by any means. They're pretty short. And so I'm like, I get the feeling of underestimating me. It totally makes sense. Anyway, he is going ahead and taking my measure here. He's like, okay, you've seen your share of battle. There's no mistaking that. And you did manage to obtain that Animantoise egg. However, that was not more than a display of brute force and blind courage. That's not as punny, but sure. The Noon I once fought also believed that his strength would save him. He was wrong, and now I am Noon. So what he is pointing to there with the, as I said, it is a patriarchal society that centers around the Noon. The Noon is the one that is in charge and is the mating male of the tribe. And how typically ascension happens is that a Tia will challenge the Noon to a battle, and whoever comes out the victor becomes the noon. So either the noon properly is able to defend their title as noon, it remains noon, and the other one stays Tia, or the noon loses his position and the Tia ascends to be noon. So that's why he's pointing to that. He fought the previous noon and won his position in the tribe. They're yes. I probably know the most about the Miko lore because my main character used to be a Mikote, and I did a lot of research before I fantasiaed her into a Mikote. Like, I wanted to know more about the tribes, the naming conventions, and all that stuff. And like that was why I ultimately ended up swapping from Seeker of Sun to Keeper of the Moon, because I was like, well, like, my name is Zelda Nightblade. No, it doesn't necessarily match the Keeper of the Moon either, but it definitely doesn't match the Seeker of the Sun naming conventions or any of that stuff. Like, it's definitely mismatched there. And I wanted to understand how some of the things in the game go. However, I have been going through the encyclopedia books that I have for the game and learned more about the various races and stuff like that. Like, some of them, like with the Mikotes, the Seekers of the Sun and the Keepers of the Moon are very, very different from one another. As I said, like the Seekers of Sun are patriarchal, and then the Keepers of the Moon are matriarchal. Like, they have their night and day differences, literally, with sun and moon. But then you have your Lalafels, and the Lalafels, even though they have two different branches of their race, they are very similar. Hey, Euler. Yes, that's totally fair, David. Yeah, like, I did so much research, and I was like, fortunately, I didn't have to worry about the whole Noon versus Tia and all that stuff. And then, like, I still didn't change my name when I changed to Keeper of the Moon. I still kept it as Zelda Nightblade, even though I have literally no H's in the name. It was just like they just tend to have more H's. Yes, one of the Lalafell cultural backgrounds is definitely money, and they definitely are very nomadic. They go where they are survivors first and foremost, to be completely honest. Like, they very much have that background where they need to survive, and they will travel where they can survive. And especially in an old Da, it seems like that they've not only survived, but they're finally thriving. But their survival instincts is one of the reasons why they are actually one of the more lovable races and stuff. They are very perky and friendly and nice, almost sugary sweet. Because they're so tiny. Like, you would expect that, as I said, that Animatoids should have eaten me. You know, like, it just makes sense that I would have been completely eaten and destroyed. And they've cultivated themselves in a way that it's like, you know, who's going to bring themselves to destroy this absolutely sweet and adorable Boba? Because she's just so nice and sweet, you know? I do like that DLC, that definitely goes very well with the DLC. And like I had said, like, technically that makes the character's informal name Elsie. I still think, like, most people would still call that character the Elsie, and it still works extremely well. Very much like how most people call Y'shtola Y'shtola. Like, you still use the full name, and only those that are closest to Y'shtola call her Shtola. It's like we see that a little bit in Heaven's Ward. We see some Shtola. I can imagine, yeah, that is extremely clever, having that DLC to go to with DLC. Like that is extremely clever. Like I think that works so well. Like that's really, really good. Okay. So, off of my lore tangents, off of my lore tangent for a little bit here. Because like even though my I know my name is more elvish. It makes absolutely no sense. Like I've actually never played Elizin on my characters. Like I'm sure I have an alt Elizin somewhere, but literally an Elizin that was like just doing some menial work that is probably like level 1, maybe 2 somewhere. But even though Zelda is a very elven name, just like Zelda is, I don't really play elves in Final Fantasy XIV. And the reason I came up with the name was actually I was trying to find an elven name for World of Warcraft. And it just sort of stuck. And then Nightblade is a human last name. So I went with Nightblade because I was playing a elven rogue in World of Warcraft. So I wanted to go a little bit more literal like humans and have Nightblade. Be like, get it? Assassinating at night? Ha ha ha. Because I was like, I was subtly rogue main, but then my alt spec was assassination. So I was like, you know, I would be subtly assassinating at nighttime. Ha ha ha. I was going with the jokes on the last name there, and it sort of stuck. And then I ended up continuing. I've continued with it for a really long time now. Like it's been over 10 years since I ended up adopting that name essentially. But yeah, like my research into the Makote lore was why I like really wanted to, like I wanted to find a way to make my Zelda Nightblade name work a little bit better with the Makotes. And because the Keepers of the Moon also use A's, they use AH a lot, I was like, well, I was like, I will kind of twist the lore a little bit, because since I'm an adventurer and wanting to fit in with society a little bit better, maybe I drop the H's to make my name seem a little bit more adapted to the urban societies that we have in the game, as compared to still being the very rural tribes that we have with the Keepers of the Moon. And that was like my headcanon for it. And then now she's a Viera, and now my lore is, well, I left the wood, so I got to choose my own freaking name, and it's Zelda Nightblade. That's what I went with. Which is much less interesting. Yeah, because I'm like, with the Viera, I'm like, the VR just have much more flexibility with that, because it's like, depending on the lore that you go with, like I remember the older lore was when you leave the wood, you can no longer bear your name that you had in the wood. So typically the VR would rename themselves after things that they liked. And I was just like, well, she yes, Boba could also be a Nightblade and be taking kneecaps at nighttime. But yeah, I was like, well, she ended up making friends with an Elizin named Zelda that died. So she took on the name Zelda, and then she was like, I also tend to play ninja, or played ninja for a long time. So I was like, you know what, that works for Nightblade. Because, you know, ninja. But yeah, there's a lot of intricacies with a lot of the societies and stuff. Like I know that there's a lot with the ARR. I did a lot of research with my ARR alts. There's still like there's a whole bunch of tribal stuff with them. Like, for instance, one of my alts, Zaya Rulak, the reason she is a Rulak is because the Rulak tribe was once thought extinct and only recently started emerging again and stuff. Well, she was my 1.0 character, and I couldn't find her for the longest time, and then I suddenly found her. And I was like, oh, I'm going to transfer her data centers and actually play her and make her active again. And so it was kind of a, well, she was once thought as gone, and now she's reemerged. And she wasn't originally an Aura. She was originally a Makote. She had a completely different name and stuff. But because she was a 1.0 character and they did away with all of that stuff, basically I had to completely remake the character with all of the current servers and stuff. So I had to give her a new look, give her a new name and all that stuff. So that was where she got the name Zaya Rulak. And became an Aura with the awesome and amazing backtact too. So, and I don't always do that research with my characters and stuff. I do it with just the ones that I know I'm going to play with quite a bit. Okay, so we've got this Noon here, and he not always do the Noons go with that traditional sense of fighting for the position and winning that position or anything like that. Like, I know some of the tribes don't quite do that. The U tribe is one of the ones that is traditional in that sense, where they fight. The Tia will challenge, fight, and win. And we will find more tribes that do that, especially if you do side quests and stuff. But he's going to go into his Company of Heroes stuff. He's like, many years ago, I joined the Company of Heroes to hone my skills instead of challenging my predecessor before I was ready. Even when I was young, I understood that Victory, he likes to roll his R's. I'm not very good at rolling my R's. But I'm assuming that's what they're trying to do with having a whole bunch of R's there. I'm assuming I'm supposed to be rolling my R's because he's very, very, very feline. He's less humanoid and much more feline. But I'm not good with rolling my R's, so I'm not going to roll the R's. Victory goes to the patient, the cunning, the pragmatic. That's why I claim to my position, and it is why I still hold it. And it is why I will not help an unproven whelp. Well, give me a chance to freaking prove myself, man. Like, the Children of the Sands do not offer aid to strangers. To do so is a sign of weakness. However, if you were recognized as a skilled hunter in your own right, it would be permissible to assist you. He's not going to say permissible. Like, we're not going to go for the full pun there. We're not going to permiss it. Okay. Like, I feel like missed opportunity there, but okay, bud. Across the desert to the east lies the Amalja encampment, or an Amalja encampment. Because there's quite a few Amalja encampments around here. Around all these parts here. There dwells a warrior renowned for both his strength and his guile. To even face this Amalja in battle, you must first find a way to lure him away from the encampment. This will be your test, to draw out and defeat the veteran. For this, I will offer you no advice, only this worn spear. Why, you ask, you will have to solve that riddle yourself. Now go, slay this old warrior, and bring me back his necklace. So, I don't even wield spears, dude. I wield sticks. I don't do pointy things at the end of sticks. But whatever. Whatever. Another random fact, though, out here you can get a lot of crafting materials such as like fine sand for various glasses and stuff like that. Yeah, it's so much better if you're going for that same sand. Just do ocean fishing and desynthesize the fish. You're going to get a whole bunch of sand that way. so much better. Okay. Okay, I don't have to fight with the spear at least. But yeah, I was like over a little bit further than where that fire elemental is in the distance there. Kind of blends in with the environment. There he goes. He's moving a little bit. But yeah, I would mine it and mine it and mine it for like housing stuff and free company stuff because the airships and submarines need windows in them, of course. Like, they need to have a view, I guess. But just desynthesize some fish and be done with it. Like, these guys are sending me, like, Mantoise, like, it's more challenging than that, and on top of that, he could have eaten me. That dude was nothing comparatively. Like, seriously? So annoying with these dang fetch quests. Alright. Alright, dude. Like, I don't see why, like, at least with the egg, it's like, okay, so the one guy wanted this egg for his feast or whatever. Why the fuck does he want a necklace? Like, this was all supposed to be to prepare for this feast. And now we're fetching a necklace? Like, this is weird. Alright, dude. Tell me, adventurers, our old nemesis dead? Yeah. Here you go. Does a fine necklace, as befits a veteran of countless battles. It'll make an excellent trophy. The spear? It belonged to one of his brothers. I had a feeling like it's like you gotta do something to piss him off, right? Like, it can't just be some random old spear. Like, he's not gonna show up pissed off if it's just a spear. I knew when I spied it from afar, or I knew when he spied it from afar, he would be unable to resist venturing outside the encampment to see for himself. Did you just discern my intent, or was it dumb luck, I wonder? Either way, you impress me, adventurer. I shall tell you of the ingredient you seek. Oh, now you can tell me about the friggin' ingredient. Oh my god. Like, okay, so I'm literally wearing the exact same shirt. Like, I guess I can grab the chest piece for whenever I do catch up with Rogue, but okay. Uod Noon is finally willing to tell me the ingredient I seek. Like, they all feel like they have to test me, and it's getting annoying. Like, guys, come on, Titan needs to be taken care of. A shame we did not meet when I was still in the company of heroes. You would have made a fine recruit. But no point dwelling on what cannot be. You have a Welwick worm to hunt. Sandworms slither brazenly across the desert dunes, but Welwick worms are far fewer in number. Rarity breeds demand, and so their meat is highly prized as a delicacy. The only way to catch your quarry is to entice it with something it cannot resist. These worms prey on the smaller creatures of the Sigoli. A freshly slaughtered angler carcass would be my choice of bait. There's an area teeming with anglers to the east. I will mark it upon your map, along with the location where Welwick worms are most frequently sighted. Be warned, the blood will drive the worm into a feeding frenzy. If your skills are lacking, it will devour you as well. I was kind of wondering, I'm like, is it gonna eat me? Yeah, I'm not a fan of worms, but I was just like, is this worm gonna eat me? Like, it said smaller prey, and it doesn't really get much smaller than Boba here. Like, slay an angler and collect its carcass. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm in danger here. Like... Okay, I wasn't to the right part. I got... Okay, I gotta do a regular angler. I can't just do a dune angler. It's gotta be an actual regular angler with these creepy ass eyes. Like... Yeah, like... It likes things that are small. This thing's bigger than me. This thing is bigger than I am. And yet I'm going to be like, here you go. Here's this quote-unquote small thing for you to eat. And then I'm going to be the even smaller thing going to kill you. Like, legit. This totally seems legit here. Okay. Here we go. Lie and wait for the Wowick worm. Oh, there's where I need to go. It'd be awesome if this was kind of like what they have in Legend of Zelda, if he just shot up out of the ground. It's like... Please, sir. I am like not even half the size of your mouth. He would swallow me whole. This dude would swallow me whole. I feel like I should keep my distance because... Yeah, he wants to eat me. And I'm over here just casting rocks at him. Like as though that's not supposed to piss him off, you know? Like... Okay, dude. We got the fang and whatnot, like... We got it all. Okay, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Another fetch quest done for you, sir. Your skills as a hunter rival those of our best. I applaud your success, Boba. The meat will need to be heavily smoked before I ship it to Whiska. Worry not, you have my word that he will receive it in time for the banquet. Yes, fetch quest. Like, right now, the fetch quest is just, ugh. So annoying. You must be eager to obtain the third ingredient, I regret to say. I know not of its location. For the notes, you should return to Costa del Sol and seek Whiska's counsel. Ah, but hold a moment. Since you'll be meeting the captain again soon, there's something I would like you to deliver to him for me. Yes, it's so riveting. Like... It's like, yes, this... The best part of any game is the fetch quests. Like... Since I'm in Sanctuary. Making sure I re-equip my white mage gear so that way that glamour automatically applies. Alright, he wants me to deliver a gift. Alright, he was always fond of this brandy wine. I would be grateful if you could deliver it on my behalf. I was a reckless anchor youth when I first journeyed to the company, and he would have been as well within his rights to cast me out. Everything I have I owe to his wisdom and generosity. I, Wisket, was a firm yet fair teacher and expert molder of men, and I suspect that is still the case now. Please give him my regards, Boba. Okay. I mean, at least this one is quick, and it's just a go back over here and give him the wine or whatever. But it's like... It's still just like, seriously? Seriously. I have... Okay. Oh, whoops. He's over there. I do that constantly on these docks. I end up going to the wrong area. Well met, Bobo. Landonal and Uodo Noon both spoke highly of you. What brings you here today? Here. Take this damn bottle. Oh, my favorite. I shall have to thank the Noon personally. Now you have but one ingredient left. Fortunately, you will not have to travel to Alanard this time to obtain it. Fortunately? Fortunately. Are we for real right now, sir? He would like to tell me about the final ingredient needed for the banquet, which is cheese. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love cheese. Cheese is absolutely fantastic. And it wouldn't be a banquet without cheese. Especially, I get why they want cheese. They want cheese because they're having wine. And it's like, okay, they do go hand in hand. I will give them that. But seriously, you're going to have me go fetch you some fucking cheese? Cheese. Okay. Truth be told, I never intended for you to collect this last ingredient. Brave Flox, my old quartermaster, wished to bring it to Coastal del Sol herself. However, not long ago, she sent word that there's been some trouble at the long stop and that the delivery would be delayed indefinitely. She told me nothing of the incident itself, but I fear the situation may be dire. Though I would like nothing more than to aid her myself, I have no choice but to turn to you and your allies. Make haste to Hidden Falls Dock and speak with Ozun Nazun. That's another thing about the Lalafels is that they have very rhyme names. And I can't remember which one's which, but one of them has an ABAAB, and then one of them is ABBAB for their patterns for the rhyme. I believe I would be... I think I am Boba, or something like that, if I were to properly follow that naming convention that the Lalafellas have. But they're both very, very, very similar to one another with how they do their rhyme. That kind of plays very well, or well, some of them are A, B, C, CB, like this one, like Ozun Nazun. Like they both end in that un. So that's where the B is. B is un, and then A is Oz, and then C is Naz. But they still follow that rhyme, and it plays very much into their cuteness and their survival instincts, because it's just like, okay, they're rhyming. I mean, you can't really hurt someone who has a rhyming name, right? Like that, I mean, come on, surely they've got to be defenseless and absolutely adorable, right? Like, it's a very intriguing survival instinct that they have. But also, as I said, like, it plays very well into the fact that they're tiny creatures. Like, they're not going to be easily overpowering or intimidating anybody, and they are small and adorable, so they may as well really lean into it to help with their survival. But anyway, Ozun Nazun. He will direct you to Raincatcher Gully, where Brave Flox and her people have made their home. Alright. But yes, this, just like based upon what I'm seeing in chat, everybody has already been past this point. But just in case anybody hasn't been past this point, if you have heard of the infamous cheese dungeon, that is what we are on our way to unlocking here. Because we literally do this dungeon all for the sake of some freaking cheese. Because we have some spoiled rich guy who wants the rarest and best things, and one of them is this freaking cheese. Alright, hello little Lalafell. What's the hurry, adventurer? Something happened over at the Gobi settlement. Don't know why you're so eager to help a bunch of beastmen, but go and talk to the skipper over yonder. She'll ferry ye to Raincatcher Gully. The hardship of getting cheese totally builds a ton of character. Especially resisting the urge, like, not being able to eat the cheese or anything like that. Like, can't even have a taste of it. But yes, peasant, go get the cheese. Okay. I'm trying to remember, like, with the Lala naming, as I said, like, they follow a rhyme pattern, and the rhyme pattern applies both to male and females, but it's different for the males and females. Like, I can't remember which way they go for which one, though. I'm not very good at memorizing that kind of stuff. I should be better at remembering patterns. I've just never been all that good with it. Okay, so we have Brave Flock's All Talks. And this is what I love about the Gobies, is that typically with that last name, it's supposed to be like something kind of descriptive about them. So it's like Brave Flock's All Talks. It's like, oh, you're all talk. Fish shook. Tongue flaps of waistcoat be reaching ears of Brave Flocks. Uplander is come for tasty, fresh gobby treats, yes? I also just love how they talk. Quest prize of Uplander, deep in Longstop. Fighty beast chase Gobby Flock from homes. Gobby Flock needs goodly Uplander to safely, or give safely to Longstop with much hand lending. Okay. I'm not going to run this dungeon today. And it looks like I've missed the, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go to the Gold Saucer to talk a little bit about the event again, in case anybody missed it. So right now, there's an event that is happening in the Gold Saucer, and it is the Make It Rain event. So everything's loading pretty slow. Typically during the Make It Rain event, you are going to see more people in the Gold Saucer than you typically would. And that is not just because the campaign attendant has some more prizes, but also because you get 50% more MGP than you would typically get as your payouts. And while this is supposed to be a parody on gambling, it's not officially gambling because you always make a profit of MGP. So yes, you have, like, for instance, with this particular event here, I'm going to purchase a mini Cactpot ticket, which costs 10 MGP. However, the minimum payout is 36 MGP. So technically, I will still always make a profit, and that helps them from breaking any gambling laws or anything like that. Because a lot of games like this, like, you have to consider the gambling laws of not just their home country, but anywhere that the game is offered. So they have to be extra careful. But we're going to see. So here, I'm going to hopefully get a 3-2-1 so that I have a sum of 6 to get 10,000 MGP. And I got 11. So it says 252, but my actual payout was, oh, damn it. Let me do this again. But my actual payout was much more than that. Okay, 108. So I actually got 162, so I got an extra 50% on it, got extra payout. Yeah, that's why, like, a lot of games don't end up having some sort of actual gambling thing, or why they have to make tweaks to that gambling. Like, I've tried making videos on this for posting on, like, TikTok and stuff, and TikTok immediately, every time I tried to post my Gold Saucer videos, takes it down because it claims that it's violating the some sort of terms and stuff. And it's likely because this is technically associated with gambling, even though it's not actually gambling and does not break any laws. it just automatically, based upon my video, assumes that it's gambling. I'm like, no, it's technically not gambling. It's technically not gambling because you're always making a profit. Like that, the amount of profit fluctuates, but you are still making a profit. And that is going to be true for everything here because they don't want to be breaking laws. However, the currency is different than Gil. You're getting MGP, but there's a ton of rewards that you can get, not just during the event, but even outside of the event. So I highly recommend taking advantage of events like this one. And if you're not in a free company, like my character is not in a free company right now, so I don't have any free company buffs or anything happening right now. If you're not in a free company, make sure that you are doing your Grand Company squadrons. I am not high enough level to be able to progress quite that far. However, especially if you're level 50 and above, I highly recommend increasing your rank with your Grand Company to Second Lieutenant, unlocking your squadron, and leveling them up because their level 50 missions, they can give you the equivalent of a tier 3 free company buff, which rather than, like it gives you an extra percentage of rewards for the gold saucer, for instance, if you use the jackpot buff. They also offer other buff equivalents as well. So like reduced rates, for instance, like in my free company, we typically keep Heat of Battle, which gives you increased experience in battle, and reduced rates, which decreases the amount of guild that you are spending on teleports. During events like this one, a lot of free companies switch some of their buffs out and like to opt into throwing jackpot up because that jackpot buff will stack with the Make It Rain event. So you're getting an extra 15 or 20% MGP on top of the additional 50%. Now, keep in mind percentages are not additive, so it's not 70% is not what it adds. Like that's not how it works. It's multiplicative. But you are still getting that extra bonus happening there. So it's like you could reap the benefit from that with a Grand Company or a free company, either one. If you prefer to play solo, I highly recommend making sure that you do that with your Grand Company. And even still, even if you are in a free company, not all free companies do that. And not all free companies do tier 3 buffs. Like for instance, mine right now, I was one of the people that was making our tier 3 buffs. And they take not just a lot of resources and time to make, but then they also have to sit in an oven for 3 days to, I say cook. Honestly, a lot of the free company stuff, I like to make some jokes and make it seem like we're dealers of some kind. Because I'm like, yep, I'm cooking the goods right now, you guys. But anyway, it takes 3 days to cook one buff, and you only have enough room in the oven for one tier 3, which is going to have the strongest buff possible for you. Whereas a tier 2, I don't know that's going to let me take a look at this stuff. I'm going to see if it will on this character. But with tier 2s, how Grand Companies work is, or not Grand Companies, free companies work is they will get credits based upon member activity. So if you have quite a few active members, you're going to have a ton of credits. And those credits can be traded in for some different things, including tier 2 buffs. So tier 2 buffs don't have to be cooked or anything like that. They can just be purchased with credits, which is what my free company is doing at the moment. While I continue adjusting my schedule, I have a feeling she's not going to talk to me. Okay, yeah, she's not going to talk to me. But anyway, typically, some of your free company leadership would talk to this quartermaster and use credits to purchase tier 2 buffs. Now, those buffs, they're still great. They still give a bonus. Just to give a comparison, though, with like reduced rates, a tier 2 buff is only going to reduce the cost by 10%, whereas a tier 3 buff is going to reduce the cost by 15%. So there is a difference between the two buffs. It's not huge, like it's not a super meaningful and significant difference, but there is a difference between them. And that's why I'm like, make sure you do your grand companies, get your squadron unlocked, go ahead and rank them up, because those level 50 missions, you can get the equivalent of those tier 3 buffs. They run for like 2 hours, which depending on how you play the game, that could last you for an entire play session. But they're great. If you're in a free company that happens to run tier 3 buffs constantly, mine was one that did that. It was a lot of work to have that many buffs going all the time. It's possible. It's just a ton of work. There's not as much benefit unless like the free company, because they can only run 2 buffs at a time. The free company might not be running the buffs that you necessarily want. So another benefit for having your grand company squadron leveled is you can run whatever buffs you want for your character. Anyhow, so Friday I will pick back up with my main character and working on some various things with my main character. And then Sunday we will pick back up with this character here doing some more MSQ and things like that. If you're not a part of the Discord or Fluxer servers, I do have alerts that go up for when I make video posts. Whenever I do finally get back into the actual swing of things and actually get back to making my informational videos. I'm trying, you guys. It is totally on me at this point, because like my system's fine, my computer's moved and everything's working great. I just need to get my crap together and actually make these videos. Thank you, David. Yeah, I really need to get my crap together, and I will get these videos back up and going. But I will have alerts going to both Fluxer and Discord servers. I tend to post short videos to TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, all three, so that way people can follow where they would like to. Now, those servers don't ping for Instagram, because Instagram, it's one that I don't have a good way to like track an API or anything like that with it, and it's constantly changing its algorithm. TikTok is also really tricky with that, but fortunately Discord has a bot that can follow it really well. But that's why Fluxer doesn't have TikTok alerts, because the Fluxer bots are all bots that I am running for the most part. I think there's maybe one or two. Maybe, actually, I think it might just be one Fluxer bot that is not one that I am self-hosting. But most of, or let me take that back. I think I'm self-hosting all of the Fluxer bots, but the alerts bot is one that I programmed and set up. So I had to set up the APIs and all that stuff for all the alerts and everything. I didn't write the code for having there's like one channel that does communicate between Discord to Fluxer, which is the infos channel. That one, I didn't write the code for it, but I am self-hosting it. But the reason I have the Fluxers, I understand that not everybody is comfortable with Discord and the changes that they made to their privacy stuff back in March. So I have Fluxer as an option. If you would like to join either one of those servers, you can type in !Discord or !Fluxer. Fluxer will give you the link to the Fluxer server. Discord will give you the link to the Discord server. Those are the most reliable ways to get alerts for when I post videos or when I'm going to go live. Because the nature of shorts and TikTok and all of that stuff, you know, it's going to keep pushing it out over hours and hours and hours. So most people aren't going to see those videos until I'm no longer live, for instance. Like I still have videos that are getting pushed out from November at this point. Like honestly, some of those are my most popular videos. And like that's just the nature of how all that works. So that is going to be the most reliable way to get alerts for any time that I am going to go live or when I do actually post a video, because I know especially TikTok gets really, 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 really finicky. Like the second you go to follow somebody as to whether their videos actually get pushed out to you anymore. Like I've seen so many people that I was following seemingly fall off the face of the earth, but turns out they were still posting quite a bit. And I had no idea because they were no longer getting pushed to my For You page. I also do apologize to anybody who does follow me on TikTok. As I've said in past streams, I don't have TikTok on my phone anymore due to how it tracks your SIM card and all that stuff. So for my family's privacy and security, I don't have it on my phone anymore. So I have to do video uploads from my computer, which is honestly kind of weird. But there I'm able to do it much more safely and securely for my family. Because like with TikTok tracking SIM card and all that stuff, I'm like, that kind of defeats the whole purpose as to why I have YouTube. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and call stream right there. If you are hanging out with me on Twitch, I will raid you guys out. Otherwise, I want to say thank you all so much for your patience with me. I apologize again for those of you, if you happen to be here during like the first 15 minutes or so of stream when I apparently had absolutely no sound. I promise it really was working before I hit go live. And then suddenly like I'm sitting there talking, I'm talking, and I just look over and I'm like, my sound bars just aren't moving for some reason. And then I checked my mic and it was showing no sources. And I'm like, what is even happening here? I was like, this was working. So then I had to shut down stream and restart it. I'm so sorry. It's like, leave it to me to finally have StreamerBot running properly on Linux for once and find that my sound decided not to work. But anyhow, thank you all so much for your patience with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful rest of your week too, because I will not be live again until Friday. And I hope to see you all on Friday. As I said, if you are on Twitch, feel free to stick around. I will raid you all out if you are looking for another person to watch. But anyhow, have a good one, y'all.